All right, guys. All right, guys. All right, guys. Let's see here. All right, guys. So we are live here at nomacnoltrading.com. Good to have you guys on. Oh yeah, I'm still trading. Guys, this is my passion. I love what I do. I'm not gonna stop. It's fun. Keeps me going. Keeps me thinking. Keeps me motivated. So hopefully you guys had a great trading day today, guys. I know today has been pretty crazy. I think it's what I saw at least was it's the biggest green day in election history, which is pretty wild. But all that being said, it did create quite a few opportunities today. Was able to capitalize a little bit. Nothing too insane, but for you guys, hopefully, you were able to capitalize in some of the price action today. There's definitely opportunities. I've been following you since 2020. That's awesome, Mercader. That's awesome. Glad to hear it. But anyways, guys, so yeah, just wanted to kind of come on today because it was kind of a crazy day in the markets. Like I said, this was a huge green day across the board for, the market in general. Bitcoin, what's going on, ETV? How's your trading going, ETV? You've been with me a long time. I recognize you. Bitcoin was going pretty crazy. Tesla, big day. DJT had a big gap up, and then it just gapped all the way down. Tesla actually held its gains. And SMCI, I explained, my thought process on me longing that in my long term. If it goes to zero, great. I'm more than willing to have that go to zero. But if it 4, 5, 10x's, 4 times, 5 times, 7 times 10x's, it wouldn't shock me either. So, I put a little bit in my long term. I'm like, okay, this is kind of like one of those things where it's been beaten down a ton. Hopefully it turns into like a Chipotle where kind of like all the bad news hits the stock, breaks it down, beatens it down. Just absolutely all the bad news keeps taking this thing down and down and down. And if you look at the max chart, this thing has just gotten absolutely annihilated back to 2023 levels. So I just threw some of my long term, like I said, goes to zero. I'm okay with that, but I think that it has the opportunity to go forward 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10x in the next 2 to 5 years. So it's well worth the long-term risk, in my opinion. But like I said, If it goes to zero, I'm not going to blink an eye. But if it does do the 3, 4, 5, 10x, maybe even plus that, then I'll be reaping the benefits. So if you go back and look at Chipotle, I know they're two way different companies, right? I think there was like an E. coli outbreak and a bunch of just bad news that broke this thing down in here to like $5, right? Now it's all the way back up to $60 in a couple years. Um, so it's kind of the concept at hand for me on the SMCI. In terms of day trades today, I had a couple of good trades today. Tesla was awesome. FOXO. What screen am I on here? Is it down here? Oh, it is down here. Okay, sorry guys. You guys didn't even see what I was looking at there. I gotta fix my stream, but I don't really know how. I would just kind of wanted to jump on and talk quick. So FOXO traded 475 million is what I have it at today. Let's see if I can make this thing bigger here. It closed up 475%. I think at its highs it was up like 600+% if I remember right. But a good runner today, nonetheless. I mean, we had a nice break, and believe it or not, I think I had a position like 35 cents, and I think I just took it off somewhere in here, and then of course this thing just freaking grinds, and then doubles on me. So the thing about trading, you can't get too emotional. I was talking with someone the other day, and the biggest thing about trading, that's the most underrated thing that you can do for yourself, is learning how to control your emotions. Learning how to control your emotions is one of the biggest parts of trading in general. We all know how to trade, good. We've all studied and we've all seen, for the most part. I'm not gonna say everyone in here because there might be some new people, and if you are, go ahead and check out my free website, join the chat room, check out all the links in the bio. But anyways, I mean, we can study successful traders and we all know how they trade, but there's a reason why none of us trade exactly like them. Because we have our own personalities, we have our own emotional capabilities, and that's just the reality. And some of it, you might have a different personality. I mean, you get to know yourself really well when you start trading with any type of size, because it's just you and trying to make a smart decision and not getting too emotional, not getting too greedy, not getting too, it's always a happy medium by too much greed and risk control, right? Along with the emotional side as well. So it's not that easy in general. And, looking back and reflecting on everything I've done in the trading world, I used to think it was, not easy, but I prepared. Every single day I prepared, and it got me in a position where it was, somewhat predictable, right? Nothing is ever a guarantee. But, at the end of the day, that's just one of those things where if you prepare, then, you start doing things that you never would have thought even possible, right? And then you look back and you're like, holy crap, like how did I do that, right? It's okay, you want to learn from mistakes. Okay, ETV. Keep grinding. Feel free to reach out to me, ETV. I know you've been with me a while, so I'm more than willing to, I know when people are really trying to learn and the others who are just trying to make fast money in this industry. I know it seems like, let's get all the Ferraris, let's get all the fast money, let's go do all these crazy things, but it's not really like that at all. If you take that mentality, it's going to make it even harder, in my opinion, on yourself. You know what happened to Richard One in the mod on your Discord? I don't know what you're talking about, Mercedes. What we thinking, Cam? Wild day. Yeah, it's definitely a wild day. It was an awesome day. Where you been? I've been here every single day. I trade every single day. I'm always looking at the markets. I'm always looking at stocks. I'm always, trying to learn and dissect things and try and make smart decisions on a day-to-day basis. The reality is I've had a good year, not a great year. I still fall into the complacency mentality, unfortunately. But I'm still able to grind things out and do things the right way. And, that's the main thing. I'm not really disappointed, but to say that I know I can do better is an understatement. So a lot of you guys, would think that, I'm doing really good, but I just have high standards for myself, and I do want to be the best trader in the world. I do want to be the best long-term investor. I want to continue to capitalize on percentage gain every single year. I want to look less about P&L and more about percentage gain, and that's the most important thing. You guys have any questions for me? Feel free to reach out. Feel free to ask me some questions now. It's been about 10 minutes, so we can answer some questions. What size are you trading with? I don't really talk about size and P&L as much anymore. You guys can go back and look at my heyday when I post all my P&Ls and I show you how I took 1,000 and turned it into 1,000,000 multiple times. It's all documented on my YouTube channel. I've also been audited. And that was a long process. I don't recommend it on anyone, but that you can see all those articles as well on my website. Feel free to check all that out. But at the end of the day, I've done really well for myself over the years, and I continue to show up every single day. I'm not like looking at every single move trying to make X amount of dollars and being like this all day long anymore. I focus on my long-term account as well as my swing trading account, and honestly, my day trading account, I focus on it, but it can cause the most stress. And so I'm working really hard on managing my stress with trading. And so I try and keep my stress in check because, my mental health is extremely important. And, I went through the stressful years being able to get where I'm at now. And I would never give up trading. Like, I love trading. And, I might take on more and more stress as I get older. But for right now, I really focus on positioning myself in my long term and in my swing trading accounts. But I still day trade almost every single day. And I also trade options as well. And I love learning economics. I love finance. And I love just showing up every single day and enjoying a good challenge and enjoying being wrong sometimes, because you have to enjoy those moments as well as you do the upside. Because if you're not able to admit to yourself all your losses, then, that's not even the person that I want to keep myself around, because we all take losses as traders. And you guys can go back. I've taken massive losses, and I've showed you guys my losses. This game is not easy. I call it a game. This career, this living, this opportunity that is, we're all blessed to be able to have is every day. It's a constant grind. It's a constant, change. You got to be on your toes. You have to be constantly evolving. You can't stay in your old ways. And over the past, 6 months, I've stayed in my old ways, and it's not like I haven't made any money, but it's definitely hindered me. And, things are changing. And I call it the TikTok brain, I make a joke with Jordan all the time, but I feel like, I definitely am starting to shift into like what I call the TikTok brain mentality, where, trades are so much different than they used to be. They're quick, they're scalpy, they're moving, Foxo went 500-600% today. But even that, like, this was a little bit cleaner of a move, but you can see the choppiness in what I call the TikTok brain, where they're like, okay, I want to take some profit, boom. I want to be long, boom. They're like this, right? And that kind of movement has definitely shown across the market. Perfect example is DRUG. Back in the day, a stock like this, I think it went 5,000+%. Maybe I'm wrong, but it went a lot, right? You could see here, I don't know exactly, but it went a lot of percentages and traded a ton of volume, ton of dollar amount. I believe it traded $1 billion a day for like 4 or 5 straight days. And so, this used to create sympathy plays up the yin yang. Well, there was 10 different sympathy plays, and they all kind of just pooped out. Like, they didn't do anything what they used to do. So I have to kind of spread across the board now instead of get stuck in 1 or 2 or 3. And, I used to be a sympathy play. Like, I would be on that stuff all day long, and I still will be, but they just react differently, and you have to learn and evolve and grow, and you can't get stuck in your old ways. Do you still talk to Ariel? Yes, I do still talk to Ariel. He's awesome. I believe, I need to see him. It's been too long. He came out a couple of years ago now. Jeez, I need to get together with him. But, time flies, and life just gets busy, but there's no excuse. But I still talk with him on Discord probably every 3-4 months, 2-3 months. He's doing great. He's, like I always known, he's absolutely crushing it. He definitely is, he should be the next guy the next man up, like where you kind of toss the baton to the next person. He's definitely right there with, tossing the baton. And if you want to learn from someone, reach out to Ariel. That guy, super knowledgeable, come up through Normac Renewal Trading, was able to help him along the way. He took some of my classes, he's taken my courses, and, he learns from a lot of different things, but I remember just when he was first starting and I knew, the questions he was asking were going to be, he was going to be something special, and he's done nothing but prove me right. He is great at what he does, and also just awesome to hang out with, awesome to talk to, great person in general. So, yeah. You guys have any other questions, comments, concerns for me? I'm going to try, like I always say, guys, I'm going to try and get on more and more. I'm working on that. I know that I've been kind of slacking on that, and I've been saying this now for like a year and a half. But I'm going to work on it, definitely going to work on it. You guys have any other questions, comments, concerns for me? Not massive, Mercenator. Not massive at all. It's just enough where I know I can lose it and not even blink an eye, but at the same time, if it pays out, it'll be a nice little kind of hedge to whatever's happening in the markets at the time. If it ends up doing what I think it can do. But there's no guarantee on that thing. They are going through troubles. They're going through financial things. Like, there's a lot of problems with the company. And it could all pan out being right, or it could just pan out that they're completely fine. They're just going through some issues, and the stock price reflects that. I feel like right here, not to say that it can't go lower, but, yeah. What do you think the market is going to do with our new president? Honestly, this is just my honest opinion with our new president, as far as what I can tell, being Donald Trump. I think he's going to really kickstart this economy. I think that, this is just my opinion, is I think our biggest problem that not enough people know about in the day-to-day world is our debt ceiling and our debt problem. I really do think out of everything going on, that's right up there with our top problems. And, I was just having this conversation today, you can have someone come into office and, take care of healthcare, or take care of the oil industry, or, the tech industry, or, the blue collar, home builder industry, or so on and so forth. There's a ton of different sectors out there, right? But the common denominator at the end of the day is each sector needs money to function. We all go around in this world working our ass off, hopefully, to make a living for ourselves. And, every day we wake up, we go to work, and we try and, I hope that you all are passionate about what you do and are able to create a living for yourself, because we just walked into this world, and, we have to react, right? Money is able to, create food on the table, a roof over our head. The basic necessities all come from money. Not to say that money is end-all, be-all happiness by any means, but I didn't wake up and choose that money is how this world functions on a day-to-day basis. People have jobs across the entire world doing all sorts of different things, and there's no way I could do most of it, but the reality is the president we have, in my opinion, he's going to, deal with the financial issues that I feel is right at the top. And the debt ceiling, to me, is one of the most important things right there at the top that I think that can trickle across the entire sector, right? All of the U.S. And if we can get this debt problem under control, I think that is going to be a huge step. Not to say that there's not a ton of other problems, but I think when you look at how industries are ran, look at our military. Without money, we wouldn't have a military. We wouldn't have self-defense. It comes down to the very basics. I know people are in the industry where, our self-defense and our military is, great. And I do appreciate them every single day that, we have our freedom. But at the end of the day, without money, they wouldn't function. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we have the most funded military in the entire world. And, we put a ton of money into our military. And so that's just a basic, necessity, I feel like, for the U.S. is having our safety, having, people that we know we can rely on and trust on to keep our freedom, to keep our rights, to keep everything going. And what does that stem back to? Money. Again, I'm not the one who picked this, but that's just my opinion too. And I just feel like, getting rid of this debt problem can really start to affect us entirely as a country. And I feel like, that can weigh big on, helping across the entire industry. So to answer your question, what do I think Trump's going to do to the markets? I feel like only create them to be more and more powerful, continue to uptrend, for the next 4 years. I don't really know. If we were to go down, it wouldn't surprise me either, At the end of the day, if we go up, great. The long-term account's making money. If we go down, well, we have stocks at a discount. So it's in the long-term world, it's a win-win in my opinion, Obviously, you don't want to see the market crash because that can really affect everyone. And I know when that happens, it's not good. Even though, somebody might be making money off of it, maybe I am making money off of it, it's still not good for the entire whole of the country. And so, you don't wish that upon anyone, but the reality is stocks go up and stocks go down. And Charlie Munger said one time, if you're not willing to be in a long-term account and watch your account split in half or even go down 60%, then I don't think you're really interested in a long-term account because you're going to have to go through some of those times. I believe it happened 3 times in Charlie Munger's career, and I think he passed it 99, almost 100, I think. But that's the reality, I'm expecting my long-term account to have that happen at some point in my, at least once, twice, maybe even 3 times in my career. And if you can't handle that and you can't look yourself in the eyes and be like, okay, well, my long-term account is going to do that at some point, then I don't think you're ready to be in a long-term account. But, being in a long-term account as well is, it does pay. I mean, if you look at what the S&P 500 has done just in general over the past 10, 20, 30 years, year in and year out, it trends up. And so, anyways, no tax on overtime is kind of an organic way. So, yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of that stuff that he's going to lay out. But, yeah, and I think Elon will I think he really will help the debt ceiling. That guy has golden hands. I mean, everything he touches, and I don't want to jinx him. I'm going to knock on wood. But I don't know. That guy he's going to go down as probably the Albert Einstein of this generation. I mean, everything he touches is gold. I don't know how he does it. He is the smartest person, I feel like, in the world. I don't really have any hiccups saying that. He knows how to delegate. I don't know. He's just very good at what he does, and his track record speaks for itself. And so I think that will help a lot as well. So we'll see. As the stock market continues to trend up, it won't surprise me. In the next 4 years, it wouldn't surprise me if it's just an uptrend for the next 4 years, because I really do feel like he's a big step in the market settling and continuing to uptrend. But again, guys, I've seen, could we have predicted COVID? No. That was a black swan event. There's so much that can happen. You have to take every day with a grain of salt and be prepared for anything. And, when I'm at my best, I just take the market with what's happening and I use it to my advantage. I'm not trying to take a day and be like, okay, I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm just going to sit back, let things come to me, and that's when I trade my best. So, you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, guys? Mercenator, what is Centerpoint's fees? Are the fees better than Trade Zero? The thing about Trade Zero is the fees are kind of expensive. Yeah, Gabe, no idea. We'll see. What are 3 top resources you would recommend to a new trader? To be honest, my YouTube, my course, and I think going on FinViz every day and looking at the top gainers and losers every single day and putting yourself in positions where you feel like, okay, I could have made money there. Well, I couldn't have made money there. I wouldn't have been this. Or I would have been in that. I would have lost a lot of money there. So how am I going to critique my strategy, right? Doing that is, is great. So I'd say that. And, going on Twitter and learning from everyone, I also have books that I read, a couple of books, 100 Baggers I really like. I like studying stocks that are like crazy volatile. I have both of those. How to trade, the life cycle, how to win and trade on IPOs and super growth stocks. I have Berkshire Hathaway's letters to shareholders from 1965 to 2014. The Intelligent Investor is really good. Okay, honestly, I think my favorite book, if I had to pick one book, I'll be honest, I think it's Peter Lynch, One Up on Wall Street. And second place is probably 100 Bagger. Tie with Intelligent Investor. But Peter Lynch, One Up on Wall Street, it's a great book. I've read it multiple times. Good afternoon, Mr. Cam. What's going on, Larry? What is your average winning percentage on the trade, Cam? What do you aim for? For how long are you holding? I have to go back and look at my trader view, but it depends on the market that I'm in. It really does. Do you have any big biopharma winner? Do you have any biopharma, big pharma for this winter, early spring? I don't think I'm really weighted in the biopharmaceutical sector, other than owning the S&P 500. But I don't even know how much weight is biotech. Biotechs, they can go on crazy runs, but they can also fall really fast. Over my career, I've had some good luck with some bios, but I've also been stuck where I got hold. This happened to me a couple times in my career where, I've been through everything, guys. It's kind of funny, but I've been through everything. But I've had some great times, and I could reminisce on it all. And I'm sure you guys would love the stories. But in terms of not talking about the good times, the bad times, I've been in multiple biotech companies, whether I'm in at $1.50 or $2.50 or 50 cents. And it's ripping and it's ramping, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm making money. And then all of a sudden it halts, and it literally gaps down 50%, and I can't get out. Oh yeah, I've been through that many times in my career. And that's the importance of not going all in on any one stock, and especially biotech companies. I've been gapped down on 30, 40, 50. I think the max is like 70+%. And I can't get out. And it really takes it's such a buzzkill for the whole week to emotionally come back from that. I'm trading great. And then it holds on me, offering, can't get out, right? So I've been through the trenches with all that kind of stuff, guys. I can tell you stories and I can reminisce but I don't want to bore you as well. You mentioned One Up, Peter Lynch. What were the other 2 or 3 things? The other 2 or 3 things is probably go back and look at all my YouTube videos as well as my course. And I know my course costs, but I will always say it's the most nutrient-dense thing that I ever offer. Of course it is. I charge money for it. I spend a lot of time on it. A lot of my students have said, that it's not the most perfectly laid out course, but the concepts are extremely powerful. And that's my honest feedback, At the end of the day, NorMacMillTrading.com, I created it because when I first started in my college dorm, I wanted a lot of things, and I wanted a mentor, and I wanted to look up to someone, and I wanted to be able to look at someone and be like, okay, this person comes on every single day, shows what they did, and this is why they did it. This is the tools that they use. This is how they did it. I wish that I could have had courses from people. Basically everything at NorMacMillTrading.com was created for you guys to have some type of foundation that you can stand on with your own two legs and say, hey, I learned something and I got something out of this, and it helped me in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to make you the best trader in the world. I'm not here to sell you any of that. What I'm here to say is that the biggest feedback that I've got from my course is that it might not be the most professionally laid out, but the concepts that I teach are extremely powerful. That's my honest feedback from what I've gotten from a ton of different people. My scanner, and I charge for those things because I've been in this game 7-8 years. I've been through thousands and thousands and thousands of people. People come and they go, and they come and they go, and that's the nature of trading. But at the end of the day, when you charge for something, people actually spend time on it. I can't tell you how many times I've given free stuff away, and it's like, oh, they'll just get to it. Oh, they'll just get to it. Oh, they'll just get to it, right? If you pay with your hard-earned money something, it's no longer, oh, you'll just get to it. Oh, you'll just get to it. You'll make time for it. It also shows me that you're taking it seriously because you're willing to invest in yourself. It's not even the money that is anything with that. It just shows to yourself, to me, to everyone, or anything. You're mainly yourself and me at the end of the day, that you're willing to put time and invest in yourself and learn and grow, and that's it. But I've given I bet you there's a lot of people in here that haven't even looked at all the free opportunities there are in the room, things to study from, But at the end of the day, if you don't want it, you don't want it. And that's fine. Great. And this isn't for everyone. But I always say, skin in the game is an investment on its own. Exactly. And I always talk about when I lose, I pay tuition to the market, and I don't take it back for anything because I learned so much from my losses. I not only, can you pay for your courses, but if you lose in the market, you're paying to learn, right? It's all tuition. It's no different than going to college. You have tuition that you pay. Well, you can pay to the market if you lose. And it can also pay you out if you're smart enough to make a gain and, learn from your own mistakes and pick up on your own strategies, right? But, yeah. So, trading, swing trading, long-term investing, options trading, there's all learning curves. There's constant evolution with it. You got to be on your toes. You got to be willing to say I'm wrong. You got to be willing to show your losses. You got to step up to the plate and say, you know what, I lost. There's tons of people. I'm sure there's some people on here that can agree with this. If you're trading and you take a loss, do you delete that out of your brain and not really look back and be like, hey, I took a loss? Because that can happen. I've been there many times. It's not easy to admit to yourself or to other people, which is even harder, every single day, I've taken some losses, and I've taken some big ones. And if you can't admit that to yourself, let alone other people, then you got a lot of work ahead to get through that, because as traders, as swing traders, as long-term investors, as options traders, we're all taking risks. And when there's risks, you're going to take losses. If you're not willing to understand risk and risk off levels, then you're not willing to participate in the trading, investing, financial world. The reality is, when people make it in this world, when it comes to financially making it, because there's other ways of making it in this world, you have risk that you're going to take. You can't hide from it. There's no guaranteed anything in this world. There's other ways that's safer. There's other ways that there's more risky and less risky and anywhere in between. But taking a risk on yourself is something that you got to ask, are you willing to do that? And if it's not your personality, great. But one thing about the market, before I go, it's never a waste of time. It will always be there, in my opinion. It will always be there. It will always be moving. There will always be opportunity. And when there's always movements, opportunity, and something that's always going to be there, and if you're ever at a hard point in your life where you lose your job, or you can't make rent, or the reality of life ends up kicking you in the butt, you can always turn to this and create an opportunity for yourself anytime you want it. It's there. So it's never a waste of time to understand how the economics of the world work, how companies work, how things go up and they come down. It's never a waste of time, man. You can do it your whole life. All you're doing is clicking a button. You don't need much functionality. You don't even need to be athletic. You just need knowledge. That's it. Your brain is everything when it comes to this industry. So I'm going to go ahead and log off here, but if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, now's your time. I'm going to give it about a minute left, and then I'm going to head on out. Nicholas, every now and again, but when it comes to the shorting world, the percentage returns on long opportunities are better, unless you start trading puts. But that's a whole nother thing. No worries, Brig. Yeah, no problem, Rob. Yeah, no worries, Brig. Again, thanks so much for all your knowledge over the years. I drive professional chauffeur driver for almost. Hey Cam, thanks so much for all your knowledge over the years. Over to you. I drive professional, the chauffeur driver for almost 1 million miles. You're a chauffeur driver, Larry? That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a lot of miles. You've done 1 million miles as a chauffeur driver? Whew. That is a lot of miles. Yeah, no worries, Gabe. Nicholas, you're welcome. I think there's a big lag. I gotta figure out the streaming stuff. I apologize for my charts not looking right either. I did the best that I could with just the quick time that I was going to be on. So, any other questions, comments, concerns, folks? There's about 18 people left. Gonna get off here, but I appreciate your time, Larry. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That is so cool, Larry. Anyone can do it, right, Larry? Anyone can do it. So you just got to be driven. You got to want it. You got to invest in yourself. You got to be willing to learn. And that's the reality. So, alrighty, folks. I appreciate that, Larry. That's awesome. I'm glad. I really do appreciate that. That means a ton. You don't have to do that, but you do it out of the graciousness of your heart. So I appreciate that, Larry. That's awesome. Glad that, people can at least learn something, At the end of the day, if I can help someone with something in this world, it's the main thing. Just to be honest with you, I've been losing a lot of money, not working for me. Keeping losing, not getting out quickly enough. MB, yeah, exactly. I'm glad you're honest. That's a definite part of this game. You're going to lose. And, I'm glad that you're honest, and, I hope that you typing that out, continues to make you better. So, but feel free to reach out to me, MB. It's not easy. It's not easy, and trading is hard. So, Cam, can I get your link to classes? Should be a link in my bio. It says my course. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Yeah, link's in my bio. You just gotta go to products and video series. So all my scanners are in there as well. I need to change out those links though. It's been so long. But like I said, I'm gonna try and get on here more. So anyways, appreciate you guys.